Hi guys, so today we are going to talk about the much vaunted 70-20-10 model. The 70-20-10 model has had a huge impact on learning technologies, and specifically some of the features that people have been including in learning technology. So there has been a move towards, with next generation LMSs, to include a lot of social, and hopefully by understanding the 70-20-10 model, you can understand why learning technologies providers and also those responsible for L&D would think that, and it's an important part of the learning. So first of all, let's just familiarize ourselves with what it is and how it was developed. So the model was first created in the 1980s by three researchers at the Center of Creative Leadership, Mcall, Micheal Lombardo and Robert A Eichinger. And they were researching the key developmental experiences that drive successful managers and drive behavior in the workplace. So interestingly, what they did is they sent out a survey to just 200 executives. And what they asked these executives to do was self-report on how they felt they learned in the workplace. Okay, so 200 people were asked to reflect on the way they felt they learned in the workplace, and these were managers as well. So basically what came back after this 200 survey is that learning is a little bit like a cake. You don't learn in one way. You need lots of ingredients in order to basically change behavior. So what they reported was 70% of the learning happened via experience, okay? Via experience on the job. So that's a huge slice of the cake. Then 20% happened socially, okay? So them talking, asking questions, etc. And only 10% of the learning they did happened formally, okay? So that's why it's called 70-20-10 rule, okay? So first of all, experiential learning. What do we mean by experiential learning? So essentially what they were saying is 70% of all the stuff that they knew how to do their job was basically happened through them experiencing it at work. So going into work and basically doing it, okay? So if you think about, a time when your kind of skill level just shot through, and what basically happened is that you were trying something, you failed, you tried it, you failed, you tried it, failed, and then suddenly there was an aha moment. And that is usually what this model says, is that 70% of you becoming a better salesperson, 70% of you becoming a better doctor, 70% of you becoming a better lawyer is all about the time that you tried to do something, you might have failed, or you saw somebody else doing something, and that's how you basically experienced the learning and therefore changed your behavior. The second thing is social learning. So social learning and social interaction is meant to be responsible for 20% of our learning, which is why so many features are now being put on LMSs which are social in nature, not only so that people can show how they are putting that new knowledge into behavior, so sharing their experience of learning, but also social learning so that they can battle each other, they can challenge each other, they can talk and ask questions, and are obviously a very important part of a lot of the new features that are coming through. So with experiential learning and social learning, that is basically 90% of how we learn at work. So obviously a critical part. We then come to the 10 element, which is the formal learning. Now, remember with 70-20-10, this was only 200 people and it's only one survey, okay? But it's also interesting to know that a lot of the stuff that us as L&D departments end up getting involved with is the formal learning. We focus on that a lot, when really what we should be trying to do is facilitate the 70 and facilitate the 20. And this is really where, social features and anything to help the 90% of where the learning gets done are really, really important on the learning platforms that we're buying. So before I end off this, I just want to talk about some of the criticisms of the model. Not that it is not useful, because I think even if you say, you know, the numbers aren't quite correct, the reality is that we all intuitively know that we learn most from, you know, trying it and it not working and talking to people. So we intuitively know that. But I think it's important to say that, you know, there is a kind of lack of supporting data which validates how these 200 managers came up with the 70-20. So there wasn't any kind of robust, you know, detail on their claims. And also there is some kind of limits as to what the model actually tells us. So it's not necessarily scientific facts, but I think it's an important model for us to think about when we're either selecting learning technologies or we're putting together training programs in the real world. Because what it tells us is that just delivering the knowledge, i.e. in the 10% part, doesn't necessarily impact what will happen in the workplace if we don't follow it up with the 70 and the 20. But, you know, guys, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. I think it's a great model. It's certainly one of the models that we use a lot here at Growth Engineering. That's it from me. And yeah, look forward to seeing you again. Hi guys, my name's Juliette Denny and I'm from a company called Growth Engineering. I hope that you enjoy these videos. I hope you give it a big thumbs up. I also hope that you comment and you give us some questions, because otherwise how am I going to know what you want to learn about in future? So I want your comments and I want your feedback. And then most importantly, it would be really great if you could subscribe to the channel. And then when I'm delivering out new content and hopefully I'm answering questions that you guys have asked me, you'll know when I post another video. So thank you very much. And thank you for being part of my learning tribe.